It looks as if the Afrika Korps have been caught off guard. The Sherwoods are laying down suppressing fire and advancing to the initial position held by the Afrika Korps. But the one thing we know about the German positions is they have defence in depth. The Sherwoods have cracked the outer crust, but the DAK are not giving up. They're pouring fire into the Sherwoods, who are having to retreat now back to the first line that they took. It's become a slogging match between the Afrika Korps and the 2nd Sherwoods. One thing is certain, the Deutsche Afrika Korps is not going to give up the heights above Tunis without a fight. Now the heavies of 48 RTR still haven't arrived, but there is some initial arm support coming up for the Sherwoods. We can see here a Matilda 2 and an M3 Stuart. The Matilda earned herself the nickname the Queen of the Desert in the fighting against the Italians earlier on in the Desert Campaign. She's heavily armoured, mounting a 2-pounder gun, whereas the Stuart, more lightly armoured, a light tank, bit quicker than the Matilda, mounting a 37mm, nicknamed by the 8th Army the Honey. British troops always call them Honeys, seldom if ever called them Stuarts. And they're managing to flank the Afrika Korps position. This could well swing the position now. Both sides are waiting for the heavies to arrive, but at the moment, the Sherwoods have got the advantage. The DAK retreating again. This is not a rout, ladies and gentlemen. They know where they're going. They've got prepared positions. They're falling back to them. They are going to contest every metre of this ground. Suppress the German forces. It's important they maintain the initiative. They've got armed support. They need to sweep this position clear. Into a fierce firefight here. Hitler has ordered no further retreats. And in fact, ladies and gentlemen, the Germans are deploying their own armour to Panzermark III, the workhorse, the Deutsche Afrika Korps, a very, very capable vehicle, well armoured, mounting a 50mm gun. This may well have an influence on the battle here. Panzer III is manoeuvring to take up a fire position. I wonder if the Sherwoods here have missed their opportunity. They've spotted the Panzer manoeuvring, and it's the turn of the Sherwoods to withdraw. They're falling back again to the initial position they took from the Germans. technically our Panzer III here is outgunned by the two Allied tanks, but it's more than capable of taking out the Stuart, the Honey. And individually, tank on tank is a match for the Matilda. So how is this going to develop? There's something of a stalemate at the moment. Both sides are waiting for the heavies to turn up. DAK are laying down plenty of fire. There is no shortage of ammunition. Their supply lines from southern Italy are short, and despite the activities of British submarines from Malta, they're getting ammunition through, they're getting reinforcements through. They are determined to hold this position. Now they've got their machine gun, MG42 in operation. There we go. Under cover of fire, they're advancing back to their position. The Sherwoods are falling back. Again, just toing and throwing. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the heavies has turned up, but it's the wrong one. It's the Tiger. 501 Schwerpanzerabteilung is now on the field. A 56-ton monster with an 88mm gun. The Allies have nothing on the field that can deal with this at any kind of range. And the Tiger is manoeuvring to bring the Sherwoods under indirect fire. The Allies knew about the Panzer VI. They'd seen photographs of it. Their intelligence reports were pretty comprehensive, but now they're seeing it in combat. This has changed the complexion of the battlefield completely. The Afrika Korps, far more confident, and still no sign of the Churchills. If they don't turn up soon, this is looking desperate for the Sherwoods and their supporting armour. Just listen to the growl of that Maybach, ladies and gentlemen. That is a sound you do not want to hear if you're on a battlefield. Now the Afrika Korps are regrouping. But remember, they have no intention of giving this field up. My goodness, incoming grounds! The Allies have brought some artillery to bear. That explains the withdrawal of the Afrika Korps. Whoa, my goodness, there we are. Those look like 25 pounders or possibly 5.5-inch gun howitzers. Firing from way behind the British positions. That's going to help, but that Tiger is still dominating the battlefield. Come on, 48 RTR, where are you? This is not looking good. Again, we have a partial advance here from the Afrika Korps. They know this ground, they've chosen this ground, this is where they've chosen to fight. They're not letting the Allies get to Tunis. Not if they can help it. Now the Tiger is taking the high ground. That way you can bring fire down not only on the British armour but also on the Sherwoods. And still no sign of 48 RTR. Ah, now then. This looks like a gallant move from the Sherwoods. Sergeant John Oscroft is advancing with a Piat, a projector infantry anti-tank, in order to take on the Tiger. It's a brave man who'd take that on. The Piat is a hollow charged weapon. If you can hit, it can be quite effective. The show is pushing forward. Sergeant Oscroft is number 2. He's fired the Piat. And it's had no effect. It's bounced off the turret of the Tiger. A very, very gallant attempt by a very gallant gentleman, but it served no purpose, I fear. Almost in desperation, the Sherwoods are turning to an abandoned... It's 48 RTR, ladies and gentlemen. Churchill's arrived. Here she comes, as heavily armoured as the Tiger, not as heavy a gun. She's mounting a 6-pounder, but this is a bit more equal now. And the Sherwoods are deploying that old anti-tank gun. It's a French 75mm. Okay, I know it's a Pak 38, but it's an old French 75mm. Basically, they're going to mallet that Tiger with whatever they've got. Small arms fire, Brent gun fire. They're going to have a go with that 75. Remember, they're not artillerymen. Churchill's fired. He's engaged in the Mark III. Looks like he's hit him. Basically, the Churchill has much greater survivability against the Tiger, but his 6-pounder gun is certainly on paper incapable of penetrating the armour of the Tiger tank. What he needs is a lucky shot to try and disable that Tiger, or at the very least to persuade the crew to withdraw. One of the great advantages that Churchill had, an advantage it had over the Tiger, was its ability to deal with slopes. It can climb like a mountain goat, one of his crew said. And in the hilly country overlooking Tunis, this was a great advantage. It allowed the Churchills to appear in places which the Germans had frankly never believed the tank could deploy from. There were two duels going on here now, armour against armour and infantry against infantry. The Afrika Korps aren't giving up yet.
Oh, Jesus.
Ah, there goes that 75, he's got a round away. Well done, Sherwoods. They're not artillery, remember, this is desperation more than anything. And there's a hit on the Tiger. And the Tiger crew are bailing out, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody has got around it, and there goes the Sherwoods, look, now on top of the Afrika Korps. And very sensibly, the Afrika Korps is surrendering. Out comes a Dingo scout car to report the situation back to command. Initially, newspaper reporters argued that the Sherwoods had knocked out the Tiger with that captured French 75. In fact, Churchill's from 48 RTR and 142 Royal Tank Regiment had got shots onto the Tiger, had jammed the turret, splintered the loader's hatch, caused casualties in there, and encouraged the crew to bail out. The fate of the crew, ladies and gentlemen, is open to debate. The Sherwoods claim they captured them. 48 RTR claimed that they were shot down as they were attempting to escape. We have no clear evidence as to what happened to them. They disappeared into the fog of war in the heights above Tunis. There you go, the Afrika Korps being marched away into captivity. With the fall of North Africa, the Allies gained more German prisoners than the Russians did after the fall of Stalingrad. This was a dramatic reverse to the Axis. The whole of the African continent was now under Allied control or influence. Allied bombers could reach not only Sicily but deep into Mussolini's Italy. The war was turning against the Axis. It had been a long, hard fight in North Africa, but ultimately one that was victorious. I'm going to pass over now to my colleague David, who's going to say a few things about some of the vehicles that you've seen in operation this afternoon. Thank you.